Okay, I'm unboxing the Luminous Pathways Oracle cards today, which you all voted for. This is a 60-card Oracle deck with a little guidebook, and it's one of those affordable Amazon decks that says that it's good for beginners. I paid under 15 Australian dollars for this, so I want to be really fair with my expectations here. I'm not opening this expecting any kind of luxury deck or thick cardstock or a full detailed guidebook. I don't feel like it's going to have that heavy collector feel that you get from some of the bigger published Oracle decks. But I do think affordable decks have their place, especially for people who are just starting out, people who want something easy to practice with, or people who want a little deck that they can keep in their bag without being, too fussy over it. So first impression, the artwork is really colourful, it's quite mystical, it has that bright fantasy oracle style with lots of colour, it's glowing imagery, which I really like. Makes it easy to start reading intuitively. It's definitely not a plain or minimal deck. There's a lot happening visually. So if you like decks that feel colourful or symbolic and a little magical, you'll probably enjoy looking through these. The finish is more matte than glossy, which I personally like. I know some people love glossy decks because they look shiny and photograph well, but glossy cards can stick together and sometimes feel slippery when you shuffle. So these have more of a soft matte feel. They don't feel like they've got an overly high shine, so it makes them feel a bit more practical and easy to handle. The cardstock is fairly thin, but again, for the price, I don't think that that's a huge issue. It's not a thick deck that I'd expect to survive for years, especially for like heavy professional client readings. So if you are rough with your cards. But for personal readings or learning or daily pulls or even content creation, it's fine. Bends more easily than a higher end deck, so I would definitely be a bit more gentle with it. The guidebook is very small and simple. It's more of a little paper booklet than a proper deep guidebook, but it will give you enough to understand the basic meaning, but it's not going to teach you how to read the cards deeply or connect cards together or interpret them across different situations. If I compare them to something like the Sword of Light Archangel Michael deck, the difference is pretty clear. The Archangel Michael deck feels more like a full-size professional Oracle deck. It has that larger card size, the thicker cardstock, and it feels more solid in your hands, whereas the Luminous Pathways is much lighter, it's thinner, a bit more compact. It does not have that same premium feel, but it is also much easier to shuffle because the smaller size. Now, let's talk about whether this is actually beginner-friendly, because that's what the deck says it is. I would say yes and no. The cards themselves are beginner-friendly because they have the clear titles and the keywords, so you're not just staring at an abstract image and wondering what on earth you're meant to interpret it as. The keywords do give you a starting point, which is helpful if you are new and still building confidence. So I did a little mini reading. I just wanted to test out how the cards would read together, and I decided that I would pull 3 cards. So the first card I pulled is the Open Book, then the Firefly's Glow, and the third was the Serpent's Coil. So the way I read it is the Open Book brings knowledge, openness, and potential. So this feels like there's still more to understand. It's about not closing the story too early. I feel like this is a beautiful card. I loved the artwork. It was quite easy to interpret. The second one is the Firefly Glow. This is guidance, small signs, and hope. For this one, it feels like those tiny little nudges that may not seem big or huge, but they come through exactly when you need them. And then the third one is the Serpent's Coil, which brings healing, potential, and protection. This feels like gathering your energy, trusting your instincts, and being careful with who or what you give it access to. I guess reading them together, I would say these cards feel like you're being guided through small signs, while something deeper is healing. It's asking you to stay open but protect your energy, and that you don't need the whole answer yet, just enough light for the next step. So my overall feeling for this deck, for under 15 Australian dollars, I think this is a sweet little deck. It is matte, it's pocket-sized, it's easy to shuffle. I feel it's good for beginners or intuitive practice. Yes, the guidebook is a little bit basic and the cardstock is thinner than something like a big published Oracle deck, but I feel like this is a good deck to add to your collection. Once you get to know the deck and get to know your cards, then I feel like this would be a good deck to have. I really like the colors, I do like the size, and yeah, the sweet spot is obviously the price as well. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.